Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. This is the month of war. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Love, honor, and respect to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. And all praises to His Holy Son, Yahweh Shai, who died for the 12 tribes of Israel. Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. And double honors to the apostles of GMS, to the 4 major prophets, to the 12 minor prophets, and to the hopeful elect, the brothers, the Akim, the saints, the 144,000 who are preaching the word of God on the 4 corners of this earth, risking their lives day in and day out. And peace and blessings, shalom, to my brothers, sisters, and children. We're on another lesson. And the title of this video will be Operation Epic Fury, Failure, Humiliating Defeat, Suffering Total Destruction of Military Infrastructure. Don't believe everything that you see on NBC, CBS, CNN, and Fox. Right? They're lying to you. They're losing the war. They're losing the war. The ancient Persians, the Iranians, they've been preparing for this war for over 50 years with the U.S. A few days back when I did that video, they killed the Ayatollah. He didn't try to go hide. He wanted to become a martyr for his people. The man was in his 80s. Right? I believe he was 86 years old. He died with his family. They didn't try to hide. See, the United States and Israel. Remember, Israel wants it. They want the whole Middle East. Those Zionists, them Amalekites, they want the whole Middle East for the greater Israel. Who's pulling the strings? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts. Right, they're the same people with a different title name. Okay? They made their move. Their time is short. Revelations 12 and 12. Their time is short. So they made their move. Right? But Iran, the ancient Persians, they were waiting. And they shot their arrows back. And this war is going to escalate. But the United States and Israel, they wanted this war to end within 3 days. It didn't happen. They wanted them to surrender, but they were prepared for this war. Now it's going to engulf the whole Middle East. So we're going to... Stranded Americans are caught in the Middle East, and they plead for help. Okay, because they were caught in the mix. Okay, they were caught in the mix out there, and now they can't get home. Okay, they can't get home. But like I said, this was a sneak attack. They were building up. You know, they were building up for months. But they made their move. Now they're in big trouble. The arrogance of Pete Hegseth He was bragging today. He was filled with pride and arrogance. How they're going to destroy Iran. How they're going to drop tons of bombs on Iran. Iran. A lot of them say Iran. But this is the arrogance of this country. The arrogance of your president, your senators, your Congress, because they're hand to hand with the war hawks, the war machine, who owns all those corporations. All them Amalekites, the grandson of Esau, the Zionists. But we're living in great times, brothers and sisters. Iran is shredding Israel's air defenses. U.S. military is shocked. Okay. So there's no money when there's peace with these devils. Okay, with these devils, they love war. War makes them money, not peace. They're not the peacemakers of this earth. They're war hungry. War, greed, death, and lies. The military-industrial complex. War is big money for the corporations. $14 trillion on war since 2001. It's a lot of money, okay? They're gonna make a lot of money. Your billionaires and your trillionaires. For everybody else, they're gonna lose everything. Okay? Everything is gonna go high. Because we're gonna get into it. Because Iran is hitting oil fields all throughout the Middle East. Anybody who's in collusion with America, they're shooting their arrows, their missiles. Okay? Iran launches precision missile strikes, target strikes on key buildings. They destroyed the U.S. military bases there. See, you're not getting the whole truth. So I'm watching news that's coming out of China, that's coming out of the Middle East, that's coming out of Russia. You're not going to get this news here in the States. It's all propaganda, brainwashing, and they want you to look like how strong and mighty. You see the way that Donald Trump speaks? Right? His generals, this Pete Hegseth, and all the people that work, all these politicians, because they're pro-Israel, they're pro for this war. All right, they're all in the back room, and they're getting kickbacks by these elites, these Zionists, these Amalekites, right? These Ashkenazis. They cut up the money. You know, they give them crumbs, all right? Because they have the trillions, but they give crumbs to these politicians for these wars, all right? Like I said, it's big money for the military industrial complex. They're going to make a lot of money. There's a lot of contracts, but there's going to be a lot of death, all right? And like you see these Americans, today it was like 67, 70 degrees here in Denver. It's been warm weather. November, December, January, February, March. Unbelievable. It snowed maybe 4 times here in the city, 1 inch, and it melted the next day. It's the warmest I can remember. I never remember being this warm in the winter. Okay. Everybody's just having a good time. They're roller skating, they're riding their bikes. But great death is coming to this land, all right? Right now, the people in the Middle East, they're feeling it. Okay, and you can watch all the videos, and you see people over there in these luxury hotels, and they're getting hit over there with drones and missiles. In Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all over the Middle East is getting hit, because most of those Arabs are hand to hand with Esau and those Amalekites. They all make money together. All right, and there's two that they need to take out: Iran and Russia. That's why we invaded. The United States mercenaries are in Ukraine killing Russians. The last, going on 4 years, I think it's coming. So like I said, these people here in America, they're arrogant, they're filled with pride. You know, these people, they just look at me. You know, but their downfall is coming. Okay? No one, and in the news too, there's a lot of protests going on all over the United States, and they're not showing nothing on those protests. Okay? I mean, it's so, how they have total control of the narrative here in the States. People are totally gone, but people are speaking out, and they're looking bad, and they're getting their ass kicked. Okay, and there's a lot of things we're going to get into today. So their missiles, Iran's launches precision strike missile strikes target strikes on key buildings launch in waves with no mercy, and they're hitting Israel, man. And they're taking a lot of these videos down, but people are posting them. But then they have that AI, whatever that system that they have, they're pulling thousands of these videos down, but it's showing Israel get hit, and now they're playing victim. They always play victim. They're the aggressor. All right, they love to sneak attack. They love to cross borders, bomb schools. The school, they, in the beginning, a few days back, they said it was 62, 65 young girls were killed at a school. Now it's, I believe it's 167, plus they hit another school. So blood are on their hands. And remember, the Prime Minister of Israel, he's a war criminal. There's countries around the world, if his plane lands in their country, he will be arrested and charged with war crimes for killing over 60,000 children. When I say children, I'm talking about babies, 1, 2, 3-year-olds. They killed over 150,000. It's probably up to 200,000-300,000 people have been killed in Palestine. All right. But like I told you, these Amalekites are the worst. They're the seed. They're the most wicked seed on this earth. Okay. And the only thing they know is to steamroll over everybody. And they're coming after everybody here in America. These people that are running around, they think they're safe. No. They want to drop the population to about 33 million people on the earth. All these people are going to go. It's just going to come in waves. Okay? And the only thing they know is to steamroll. Right now, they're steamrolling over the Middle East. But like I said, Russia, China, North Korea, they're behind Iran, and this is going to escalate. Okay, it's going to escalate. We're living some great time. We might see within this week, the next week or two, 3 cities get nuked. All right, like I explained it. I explain it. It's in 4 quarters. The first quarter, the second, the third, and fourth. The first quarter started World War III in 2014 with a proxy war with the United States, Europe, our mercenaries killing Russians in Ukraine. We're at their gate. Do you see how we're surrounding Russia and how our military bases were surrounding Iran? Our bases are right there. They're in the Rothschilds. They want to take them out and take out Russia, so they have total control of the earth. Right? But that was the first quarter, and it's been moving along to now till 2026. now we're about to enter that second quarter. The second quarter is when 2-3 cities are going to get nuked. Something big. Like I said, I've been like in my body this before this, 7-10 days before this, I was having this waking up in the middle of the night, you know, just like my, even my hands even go like numb, and sometimes they tingle my fingers. I can feel it. I can feel what's coming. You know, we've been feeling it for years, but it's been intense the last 10-15 days. Okay, and I think a lot of people, people are just walking and they're collapsing on the ground because they can feel the stress and the coming terror that's coming onto this earth. Right? People can feel it. But then the second quarter, like I said, there's going to be a nuclear exchange, 2-3 cities. You're probably going to see some of our U.S. carriers hit. It's going to escalate. And then the third quarter, always remember, once that happens, that's when there's going to be lockdowns, economic collapse. It's just going to be all hell breaks loose in the second quarter. Third quarter is when they bring in the draconian laws. Okay? And then they're going to push the devil's chip. And then the fourth quarter, that's it. It's over. Fourth quarter is Armageddon. It's going to move quickly. From second to third, it's going to be moving. And then to the fourth quarter, the fourth quarter is the whole world. And that's when the Lord comes back. But he's going to bring all the nations to the Holy Land. And that whole land is going to get nuked. The Lord is going to have them destroy each other, and then he's just going to purge. When the Lord Yahushua comes back, he's going to purge it all. And America is just going to be bombarded with missiles. There ain't going to be nothing left. Watch The Planet of the Apes, 1966, the Forbidden Land. Nothing will ever be rebuilt here. There will be a hot springs. All these people's homes, you don't own nothing. You own nothing, but you're going to learn some respect. Because I've been telling everybody, it's the end of the world. It was the end of the world when the Lord took his last breath. That was the beginning of the end. Okay? It's only been 2 days in the Most High time, Yahweh. It's only been 2 days in his time. Right, but things are moving now quickly, warp speed. All right, these devils they made their move. All right. So the Middle East. Let me see here. What do I have here? It says U.S. military bases, they've been hit. Precise hits on U.S. military bases in the Middle East. Billions lost. Middle East causing billions in equipment losses, including a 1.1 billion radar system in Qatar and over 200 million in lost aircraft. All right, I believe there's 5 or 6 of our planes have been hit. They're saying it was friendly fire, you know, that we shot our own planes down. Iran's military said they hit them. Okay, like I said, the United States and Israel does not want to give them no credit. That's why they're taking these pictures down, especially showing Israel get hit. All right, Jerusalem's being hit. Tel Aviv is getting hit. All the cities they're getting hit. Their buildings are being hit. And they don't want the people around the world to know that they're losing this war that they started. The bully. Remember, America and Israel, they're the schoolyard bully. They go around stealing people's lunches. They kick people. They trip people. They pull people's hair. I mean, you're dealing with a psychopath here. Okay, you're dealing with sociopaths. All right, but they're getting hit hard. The Middle East escalation. U.S. forces have lost nearly $2 billion within the first few days of conflict. Operation Epic Fury are costing billions, with operating costs for U.S. carrier strike groups reaching $6.5 million per day. And that's just one strike group. Okay, we have a lot of strike groups and U.S. carriers. and then you have men, sailors that are on the ship. And next video I'll bring it out. I don't remember the name of the ship, U.S. carrier, but they're plugging up the toilets because they're even bucking up against their commanders. All right, you have a lot of those men and women that are in the services. You know, they're 18, 19, 20 years old. They join to go to college, get a degree, stuff like that. They didn't sign up to be thrown into the front lines, and that's where they're going. All those young men and women that are in the service, they're going to send ground troops. All right, this was all planned to go in there, man. There was no such a peace thing going on with Iran. There was no peace thing. That's all lies, man. That's all a front. That peace treaty, their board of peace. What a joke. What a joke. It's a joke. But they're being with the internet, they're being exposed. The Most High is exposing all these wicked men and women. All right, just like he did with that Epstein, with all these people are on these files, man. And you see how you don't even hear about it no more. It's just war now, because that was escalating. But people were just talking about that every minute. You know, it was on social media. It was going all over TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, what these monsters were doing to children. Okay, they were being exposed, and they said we got to make our move now to get this out of the news. I mean, like I said, they're the most cunning of them all. That's in the Holy Book. All right. The first few days of conflict, Operation Epic Fury, are costing billions of dollars. Ground invasion soon. Yes, they're gonna have to send troops in there. All right. A combat unit commander told officers at a briefing. This was on Monday. He told a bunch of troops, end times. U.S. troops were told Iran war is for sparking Armageddon and the return of the Lord. Now, whoever said that, he knows some truth. Okay, I don't know the man that said it. I'll have to do more investigation on it. But this is it. This is it. All right. Like I said, this could drag out a few years, though. We don't, it's all in the Most High. Or he could make this move in 12, 18 months. That's on the Most High's time, not my time. Okay? Things could drag out to 7, 10, 15 years. Or he might just end this quick. That's the Most High's business. It's not my business, it's the Most High's business. All right? So Russia and China are with Iran because they're helping them, because they bombed so many of their Iran's buildings. But like I said, they were prepared. They have other facilities that the United States don't know about, and they're connected with Russia and China with these precise hits. All right. This is just within the first couple days. There's more. Like I said, they're keeping a lot out of this. This is what I know, what I researched, what happened in the first 2 days of the war. Iran hit 14 countries in one night. Like I told you, they're hitting everybody that are in collusion, that are hand-to-hand with the wicked empire. Sorry about that, brother and sister. So Israel, their Shemesh building was flattened by a ballistic missile. All right, that was in the first hours of the war. They started shooting missiles towards Israel. Okay, so Israel has been hit, but there was a building there that they totally destroyed. They flattened it to the ground. In the UAE, the Burj Al Arab on fire. The Abu, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Nabi airport 1 dead, 7 injured. Like I said, this was in the first 24 hours. And then you have Dubai airport concourse was hit. 4 wounded, flights in chaos. All right, because they hit their airport. Bahrain, U.S. Navy 5th Fleet headquarters, massive fire, black smoke visible for miles. All right, so the new U.S. Navy headquarters was hit. All right, and I believe they also hit the CIA building. What are we on, day 5? All these Arab countries, Arabic countries, have been hit. Okay, and there's a lot of stuff that they're not telling us, like I said, but it'll come out, and it'll come out. All right, they're saying I believe 6 or 7 U.S. servicemen have been killed. They said they hit a building with over 500 U.S. soldiers. All right, they were saying that they were dead, but the United States is denying it. But we'll find out in the coming days. Like I said, the United States is not. They're trying to keep everything quiet. They want to close the door on everything right now because they don't want to look like they're losing, which they're losing. Okay, there's a lot of guys. There's colonels, generals that are speaking, and they've already confirmed it that we're losing, and we're not ready for a long battle with the ancient Persians and them Russians. All right, and it's in the Holy Book. All right, that they're gonna destroy us. All right, we're good at on the sneak attack, but that's about it. We don't have enough missiles to go months. All right, they're gonna be lucky if they can even go 2-3 weeks. But Iran has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of short-range missiles in their bunkers. Like I said, they're prepared. We're at their gate now. Okay. Now they destroyed all these Navy ports. Now our ships have to go 3 to 4 days from the Persian Gulf, because all these ships, they have no more missiles. They only could carry so many missiles on these ships. So now they might have to send their ships towards India. I forgot where else too. Maybe I think they were talking about Africa. I know Spain won't let our military, U.S. military, land in Spain. Spain don't want nothing to do with it. Okay, but you have France, Germany, and England joining in. Okay, so you have the NATO that's not all on board, and Spain is one of them. And I watched the video. It showed some American there with an American, one of those mega hats, and he was attacked. You know, a lot of Europeans are they're disgusted of what they see with your Congress, your Senate, and what they say. You know, their arrogance. You know, people around the world are getting sick and tired of this bully. Okay, but the ships, them battleships, the strike groups are running out of missiles, and they gotta, you know, reload up on their missiles, and they're in bad shape. Let's put it this way: the next few days, man. That's why they're trying to throw so many bombs on Iran, so they can throw out the white flag. All right, and then with the 2-3 days, Trump tried to bring out a peace deal with them, and they said no. They put the red flag up. They put a big red flag up and said it's on. War is on, man. You attacked, war is on. So we're in the time of war. We're going to the Holy Book. What God says. God says the West is finished. All right. So their airport was hit. It was in chaos. Bahrain, U.S. Navy, we've seen that the 5th Fleet headquarters was hit. In Kuwait, their airport terminal was struck. The Ali Al Salam air base bombs. In Qatar, The Al Udeid Air Base hit, the largest U.S. base in the entire Middle East, was hit. Then in Saudi Arabia, explosions were heard throughout the night. Saudi Arabia's Aramco oil refinery struck by Iran's missiles. The country Jordan, ballistic missiles intercepted burning debris rained down on civilian areas. In Iraq, U.S. military bases across the country was targeted. Oman struck by Iranian missiles. Syria targeted in a wave of missile attacks. Cyprus, the RAF, a Qatari base directly hit by Iran. The UK, a NATO allied military base attacked for the first time. Because you have the UK, France, and Italy that have bases out there in the Middle East. So you had France, the Camp de la Par in the UAE was struck. In Italy, NATO camp at the Ali Al Salam in Kuwait was bombed. Let's get into the scriptures. Let's get into the scriptures. So don't believe everything you're seeing on the CBS and everything. Okay? They're getting hit hard. They're getting hit. I mean, Israel is just getting bombed. There's so many deaths and they're not reporting it. You know, you have all these apartments and buildings just being destroyed. Oh, and those drones. That was another thing. So, you won't believe this one. So they have drones, the Iranians. They have drones that they pay from $300 drones to $10,000 drones that are doing severe damage all over the Middle East. Okay, and these drones, once they hit a building, it engulfs it in flames. You have the United States. These idiots are shooting $3 million missiles at $300 drones. Some drones are 800, some drones are 2,000-3,000, but they said the highest drones that they have was from the 300 to 10,000. Now they probably have some more high-tech drones that are probably 100,000, but the majority of the drones that they're shooting out that are making a lot of this damage are from $300 to $10,000, and we're shooting $3 million missiles. All right. Now, the joke is on America, all right, and on the U.S. taxpayers, because you're going to pay for this war. Like I said, it was bad. The whole economy was crashing. The whole economy was crashing. When an empire's economy crashes, it's wartime. It's time to start a war. Okay? But they're going to blame everything on Iran and Russia and China, everybody else but themselves. But this whole Ponzi scheme was being exposed. It was all collapsing. Right? Millions and millions of people can't even pay their mortgage payments. So many everyday layoffs and layoffs and layoffs. I can't even keep up with them. So the whole thing's done here, man. That's why we're in war. So you're going to find a job. And I'm talking to the wicked, the people that don't believe in this truth. Well, you're going to have a job. It's going to be in the war. You'll make enough to eat a piece of bread and eat out of a can. Okay? Yeah, and they're going to, those boys and girls that are in the military, they're going in the front lines, and then there's going to be a draft. So they're going to draft your sons and daughters for this war. All right? You're going to fight this war for the Rothschild family. All right? For those trillionaires. Because like I told you, they want the whole world. So let's get into the holy book of 2nd Ezra. This is in the Apocrypha. We're going to start with 2nd Ezra chapter 6. We'll start with verse 1. Yahweh will bring the end of the world. That's the title. If you please, Lord, I asked, will you show me the one through whom you will bring judgment on your creation? And he said to me, I made this decision before I created the world. I made this decision before I created the world, before the gates of the world were standing, before the winds were brought together to blow, or the lightning flashed, or the thunder rolled, before the foundations of paradise was laid, on the beautiful flowers appeared, or the beautiful flowers appeared, before the powers that moved the stars were established, or the armies of angels assembled, before the air was piled up high, or the divisions of the heavens given their names, before I chose Mount Zion as my footstool, before the present age was planned, or the scheming of its sinners were rejected, or my seal was placed on those who obeyed the law, statutes, and commandments, and laid up a treasure of faithfulness. Even then, I decided that since I, and I alone, had created the world, I and I alone would bring it to an end. Then I asked, how long a period of time will divide the ages? When will the first age end and the next age begin? And he answered, the interval will be no longer than that between Abraham and Abraham. He was the grandfather of both Jacob and Esau. See, Jacob and Esau are the two heavyweights on this earth. And then you have the nations. Jacob is the righteous seed. See, on the right hand side, when I talk about Jacob, I always use my right hand, because we're the righteous. And Esau, he's on the left hand. He's the wicked. And then you have the others, the nations, the heathens. And that's when he says right here, he was the grandfather of both Jacob and Esau. And when they were born, Jacob was holding Esau's heel. Yeah, we're pulling him down. Because in the spirit, we knew that the land would be filled with wickedness and evil like it is today. Because Esau rules the world, but it's coming to an end. Jacob was holding Esau's heel, and Esau represents the end of this age. And Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. So, if Jacob's hand is the beginning and Esau's heel is the end, do not try to find a space in between. Second Ezra chapter 3 and 13. But when you choose Abraham, you loved him, and to him alone in the dead of night, you secretly disclosed how the world would end. You made an everlasting covenant with him and promised him that you would never abandon his descendants. You gave him Isaac, and to Isaac you gave Jacob and Esau. You chose Jacob, and his descendants became a great nation. But you rejected Esau. He's a reject. He can't be saved. From the greatest to the least, that seed is evil. So we're going to go into the holy book of 2nd Ezra chapter 8. chapter 8, verse 55. So don't ask any more questions about the large number of people who are lost. For when they had the opportunity to choose, they despised God the Most High, had contempt for his law, and refused to follow his ways. And this is the wicked. They live their life. These people don't care about the holy book. They don't care about the Creator Yahweh and his holy Son Yahushai. These are selfish people, arrogant people who are wicked and evil, perverts. They break all the laws, statutes, and commandments of the holy book. That's why he says right here, for when they had the opportunity to choose, they despised God Most High Yahweh, had contempt for his law, statutes, commandments, and refused to follow his ways. In addition, they mistreated the righteous servants. They mistreated the prophets. They killed the prophets, persecuted the prophets. They mistreated the righteous servants of God. They even said to themselves that there was no God, although they knew that they must die. So the joys I have described are waiting for you, while thirst and torment are in store for them. But God Most High Yahweh did not want anyone to perish. He created everyone and prepared life for everyone, but those he created dishonored the name of their Creator and were ungrateful to the one who offered them life. Because even that he rejected these Edomites, he gave them life. And they don't even give him credit for the creation. Like I said, these people are proud and arrogant. And you should be grateful for everything you have. Like I said, I've always said, for soon there will be nothing. But he said, but God Most High did not want anyone to perish. He created everyone and prepared life for everyone, but those he created dishonored the name of their Creator and were ungrateful to the one who offered them life. That is why the day on which I will judge them is near. I have made this known to you and few others like you, but not to everyone. The holy book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1 through 13. Remember, this is the Apocrypha. The signs of the end. And I answered, Sir, you have shown me many signs which you will perform in the last days, but you have not told me how I know when this will happen. And he answered, consider all these things very carefully. When you see that some excuse me. When you see that some of the signs I have told you about have appeared, you will know that the time has come when God Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. And that's happening right now at the end of this age. And when you see these things happening, you will know that they are what God Most High Yahweh has spoken about since the beginning of creation. The beginning and the end of everything that happens in this world are clear. The same is true in the world above. And miracles show the beginning of events, and mighty signs show when they end. Some people will escape destruction and be saved by their good works or by their faith. Who's going to escape destruction? The prophets, the 144,000, and you brothers and sisters and children, the great multitude, many of you will escape this punishment. Some will be caught up, because in battle, in war, there's casualties. But a lot of you brothers and sisters will escape destruction and be saved by their good works or by their faith. All of them will survive the dangers I have described and will enjoy the salvation provided in the land that I have set apart from eternity as my own. Then those who have ignored my ways and held them in contempt will be surprised when they find themselves in continual torment. This will include all those who ignored me while they were alive, even though they accepted the blessings I have gave them. It will include all those who scorned my law during the time they were free to do so, and all those who refused to repent when they still had the chance. The torment they will have to suffer after death will force them to recognize the truth. Therefore, Ezra, you should stop asking questions about how the wicked will be punished. Instead, be concerned about how and when the righteous will be saved. The world was created for them, and it belongs to them forever. The Holy Book of Ezra, chapter 16. The Holy Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 1. Babylonia, America, Asia, China, Egypt, North Africa, and Syria, the Middle East. He says, you are doomed. Put on your clothes of mourning, your sackcloth and goat's hair. Cry and wail for your children, because the time for your destruction is near. I am sending war on you, and no one can stop it. I am sending fire on you, and no one could put it out. I am sending disasters on you, and no one can stop them from coming. Can anyone stop a hungry lion in the forest, or put out a fire that is burning in straw, or turn back an arrow shot by a strong bowman? What are those arrows? Them ICBM nuclear missiles. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. Can anyone stop a hungry lion in the forest, or put out a fire that is burning in straw, or turn back an arrow shot by a strong bowman? When the Lord God Yahweh sends disaster, no one can hold it back. No one can escape the blazing anger of the Lord. He sends lightning. No one can keep from trembling. And when he thunders, and when it thunders, everyone is afraid. When the Lord makes his threats, no one can keep from falling to the ground in his presence. The foundation of the earth tremble. There is violent churning in the deepest part of the sea. Even the creatures in the sea are in turmoil when the Lord makes his glorious power felt. He is like a mighty bowman whose strong right arm bends the bow. His arrows are sharp and never miss their mark. Once they are shot out toward any part of the earth, he has already sent out his disasters toward the earth, and they will not miss their target. See, God, he's going to put his spirit, he's going to send the angels on those missiles, on them hypersonic missiles, and they're not going to miss their target. They're going to hit every U.S. city. He has already sent out his disasters toward the earth, and they will not miss their target. The fire has been lit, and it cannot be put out until it burns the foundations of the earth. The disasters are on their way toward the earth, and like an arrow shot by a strong bowman, they cannot be turned back. They will not be turned back. They will not fall from the sky. they will hit their target. Verse 17, I am doomed. I'm doomed, I'm doomed. Who will rescue me in those days? Troubles will come and many people will groan. Famine will come and many will die. Wars will come and world powers will tremble. Disasters will come and everyone will be terrified. What will people do when these disasters come? Famine, epidemics, troubles, suffering are sent to punish and correct people. But in spite of all this, they will not turn away from their sins. They soon forget their punishment. The time is coming when food will be so cheap that people will think a time of peace and plenty have arrived. But then disasters will spring up everywhere. Wars, famines, and great confusion. And many people on earth will starve to death, and those who escape starvation will be killed in war. Their corpse will be thrown out like garbage, and there will be no one left to comfort the living. The earth will be deserted, and its cities demolished. There will be no one left to plow the land or plant it. Trees will bear their fruit, but there will be no one left to pick it. Grapes will ripen, but there will be no one left to make wine. There will be desolation everywhere, and a person will long to see the face of another human being, or even to hear another person's voice. Only 10 will be left out of a whole city, and in the countryside, only 2 who have hidden in the forest are in caves. And when an olive grove is harvested, 3 or 4 olives may be left on each tree. When grapes are in a vineyard are picked, a few bunches may be left even by those who look carefully. This is how it will be in those days. 3 or 4 will be missed by the soldiers who search through the houses to kill everyone. The land will be left empty. The fields will be overgrown with briars. The roads and paths will be covered with weeds and thorns, because there will be no sheep to graze along them. Young women will be in mourning, because there will be no one to marry them. Wives will be in mourning because they have lost their husbands. Girls will be in mourning because there is no one to help them. All the young men will be killed in the war, and all the married men will die in the famine. All praises to the Most High God, forever and forever, so let it be true. Hope all you brothers and sisters were edified. Get right, get your house in order, repent, and do the right thing. Read your holy book every day. Keep it near your heart. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for watching.